Good evening. I'm Landon Kowalczyk, and I will be your MC for this evening. For those that don't know me, for the past 13 years, I have been a social studies teacher at Ecole Sir John Franklin High School. I must say it is truly an honor that my last public act as a teacher at Sir John is hosting tonight's ceremonies. I'd like to begin tonight by acknowledging that we are on Chief Dry Geese territory on the traditional land of the Elves Dene. Thank you all for joining us here tonight to celebrate the graduating class of 2019. Before we begin the events, I need to go over a few housekeeping items. First, washrooms are located back where you came into the lobby, over there. The women's is just as you get through the front doors into the lobby on the right. The men's washroom is across the lobby on your left-hand side. Second, in the event of a fire or other emergency, the exits are as follows. First, there's the large garage exit over here. There's the exit where you came in, back over there. You can't see it, but there's actually an exit behind the curtains over there. And if need be, we can also go through the Shorty Brown Arena, either through the lobby that way or through the Zamboni door over on that side. And again, if you do have to evacuate, the muster point is going to be in the parking lot of the field house. The theme for tonight's Grad Formal is Diamond Jubilee, in honor of the 60th year of Sir John Franklin School. If you look around you, you will see all the sparkling diamonds that represent the Diamond Jubilee. I would like to acknowledge the absolutely amazing work the decorating committee has done transforming this arena into an absolute diamond extravaganza. Special thank yous go to Janice Daly, Jan Byrne, Peter Kern, Beatty McKenzie, along with all the parents that are part of the volunteer decorating committee. They have been here working non-stop since Sunday and will likely be back here first thing in the morning as well. In honor of the Diamond Jubilee, Mr. McGinnis has volunteered to give away a free diamond today. Just kidding, he's way too cheap for that. Over the past 60 years, there have been so many amazing students to walk through the halls of Sir John. There have been actors, politicians, doctors, lawyers, Olympians, world champions, teachers, entrepreneurs, and so many more. Looking at the class of 2019, I can honestly say I can't wait to see what the future has in store for each and every one of them. 60 years. It's incredible. So much has happened. We went to the moon. People thought the earth was flat again. One thing though that hasn't happened is the Leafs haven't won a cup. In just a moment, we're going to begin the Grand March process. For those wanting pictures, we do have 3 amazing photographers that will be taking pictures of all the grads as they come on the stage and as they walk down the aisle. These photos will be posted on the Sir John website this weekend. So if you want to view those or download them, you're welcome to. Tonight's ceremonies are also being video recorded. That video will be posted on the Sir John website as well by this weekend. If you want to take your own photographs, please just be cautious and aware. It is dark. There's not a whole lot of space, especially down the aisles. So please be aware of other people trying to take pictures, other people trying to watch, and of course our own photographers. For the Grand March, Mr. Paul McDonald will introduce the grads, who will then enter the stage to my right with their escort. They will pause briefly as they enter the stage, and then again at the top of the stairs for photographs, and then we'll walk down the center aisle towards the back of the arena. They will be directed to turn either to their right or to the left and make their way back up to the chairs in the front here. Mr. McDonald, if you're ready, we will begin the Grand March.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I give you the class of 2019. Cody Elliott and Ruby Dylan Harker and Marcus Clough. Laura Ing and guests. Aurora Nin and guests. Meadow Monroe and guests. Diana Rockwell and Brian Liang. Braden Cordero and guests. Emma Duplessis and Brian Johnson. Jennifer Lalonde and Stephen Messier. Chris Green and Brianna Steele. Zachary Smith and Delaney Taylor. Brooke Pelly as guests. Kayla Sanderson and guests. Archer Collinson and guests. Noctula Roboto and guests. Carolyn Ugio. Cindy No and Leilu Judith. Ben Carson and Tara McNaughton. Tamara Jovic and guests. Robson and guest. Edrin May Mendoza and guest. Dagan McKnight and guest. Michael Elms and guest. Tanisha McMullen and guest. Ashley Matesic and guest. Jacqueline Ramirez and guest. Tierra Siviston and guest. Sarah Hopkins and Quentin Heiser. Patrick Callahan and guest. Emma Butler and guest. Justin Rayome and guest. Jenna Orr and guest. Priyanka Chotalia and guest. Jan Joshua Chua and guests. Reese Didio. Nick Badgley and guests. Paige St. Jean and guests. Kayla Montrell and guests. Tiberius Adjun and guests. Ella Robb and guests. Caleb Hahn and guests. Maggie Austin and guests. Alexandria Hillier and Shaheen Livingston. Blair Russell and guests. Vinci and Marion Osman. Umera Matula and guests.
Frightened of this thing that I've become.
Quinn Levesque and guests. Matthew Lucier and guests. Zachary Mohammed and Kiana Wedelman.
Pretty boy, she's waiting there for you.
T. Kim Fan and guests. Dawson Giroux Panaloo and guests. Brooklyn Morris Lofton and guests. you the class of 2019!
Congratulations again to the class of 2019. You all look absolutely amazing. Thanks, Braden. Thank you, Mr. McDonald, for the wonderful introductions, and a special thanks to all the escorts. At this time, I'd also like to congratulate all the grads who won scholarships earlier in the day. They're well deserved. We are now going to move into the speech portion of tonight's events. For those of you that will be giving speeches tonight, particularly the students, I'm sure you're sitting there, a bundle of nerves, thinking to yourself, how am I going to get on that stage in front of 1,000 people, all staring directly at me, and give a speech? Particularly when I have to follow Mr. Kowalczyk, who honestly is killing it. Thank you. My response to you is this. First, thank you. I am doing a really good job. Second, don't worry. Take a breath and just relax. It won't be as hard as you think it will. It'll be much worse. Seriously, this is absolutely terrifying. My legs haven't stopped shaking since 8 p.m. I've been sweating so much, I'm sure I've lost 5 pounds already. I'm kidding, sort of. However, if you are getting a little bit nervous, I have something to help you out. Just for you, I invented some magical sunglasses. 1 second. Thank you. This first pair, I call the current. If you look through the left eye only and look at anybody in the audience, it'll take you back to the early days and the famed mullet. It looks really good right now. If you want to look through your right eye only, pick anybody you want, and instead of getting the mullet, well, you'll get a more current version with a lot less hair. The second pair is actually the Kowalczyk. So, if you look through the right eye this time, and just the right eye, picture anybody you want, you will automatically give them a full, magnificent beard just like this. Thank you. Now, if that's not your style though, you can use the left eye and you will get the full-on Yosemite Sam mustache. Now, if that doesn't make you relax, I'm sorry, I can't help. So our first speech of the evening will be the toast to the parents. At this time, I would like to welcome Meadow Monroe and Aurora into the stage to toast not only their parents, but all the parents and guardians of the class of 2019.
This is terrifying. Anyway, how are y'all guys doing? Are you happy to be here? Heck yeah! So thank you all for gathering here tonight. My name is Aurora Nint.
And my name is Meadow Monroe.
And this year we have been chosen to give the toast to the parents, and we cannot be more thrilled. We would like to mention that this speech is directed towards any parent figure who has helped guide a grad to where they are today. Whether it be a step-parent, foster parent, grandparent, family relative, or a family friend. This is to thank them for everything they do for us, the love they give, and how welcoming they have been over the years. So without further ado, let's get started.
Not so long ago, you brought us into this world. You were uncertain, terrified to leave your side, and just beaming with possibilities. And although we never realized, we were probably just as uncertain and maybe just as terrified. You saw our potential throughout the years, no matter what. Now look at us. Who would have thought that we would be here today? You probably remember dropping us off for our first day of kindergarten and having us crying, throwing a tantrum, begging you not to leave. Fast forward to high school. You helped us through all our weekly mental breakdowns. Kindergarten, grad, and grade 8 grad seem to have nothing compared to what we have achieved now.
This afternoon, every single one of us walked across the stage and accepted our high school diploma, a milestone that is celebrated today. Thank you for your generosity in acknowledging our accomplishments and greeting us with flowers when it is you who should be accepting cards and balloons for what you have brought us here. You taught us some of the hardest and most valuable lessons one could ask for. You taught us to be honest after you caught us sneaking off the roof at 12 a.m. or sneaking back in at 5 a.m. You taught us to be respectful after we made a snarky comment at a family gathering at age 12, but we were still getting comfortable in our own preteen skin. To spend time with family when you asked one too many times to skip family game night to go hang out with a friend or a possible love interest. You also taught us to never give up after you took off our training wheels and we fell off our bike for the 20th time in a row.
Thank you for your perseverance. Thank you for supporting our crazy decisions and ideas, like jutting across the world for a year at age 15. How was that, Aurora? Pretty great. Also for editing essays upon essays, and books we won't give another thought to ever again. I now know that when I'm away at university, and it finally comes time to do that sink full of dishes, or that hamper full of laundry, I won't stare at it in a panic, as some would, because you have prepared us for these simple yet useful tasks. I might only be stuck eating ramen for a week, and then realize the pounds piling on, and then get a handle on my life. I'll pull out one of those Cooking for Dummies books Dad bought me, and whip up a salad myself.
Thank you for showing up and cheering uncontrollably at all school sporting events. It didn't seem to matter if we were on A team or C team, you were always there. A light in your eye, wanting us to do better and to push ourselves. I'll miss the faint sounds of my dad yelling, "Get on them like a mosquito." I'm not even joking, he did that every single time. During Super Soccer. And my mom's quiet laughs as I tried hopelessly to do a layup. 4 years have flown by in a blink of an eye, and I'm sure even faster for you. In coming years, when we find ourselves living on our own, I'm sure we will forget to call weekly, but don't take that to heart. You guys are the most important people in our lives. We will try to remember that when we were all running wild with first semester freedom.
We would not have made it where we are today without your love, patience, and daily lectures about how if we don't stop hitting snooze, or if we don't learn to keep our room at least somewhat clean, then we're all doomed for the future. Guess we're all screwed. Thank you for being protective and looking out for us. But thank you for also allowing us to bend the rules once in a while and giving us some room we needed to grow. And for also offering rides in times of need. I think the rest of our lives will be smooth sailing. Let's just hope all those forged signatures don't catch up to us. You guys have done an outstanding job throughout the years, and we are old enough now to realize that you are humans at the end of the day. You experience fear, confusion, and worry, just like the rest of us, and yet it seems like you have a pretty good handle on everything going on around you. You always keep it calm and composed.
You are selfless enough to keep us from the worries of adult life, giving the best advice, although we may not always realize it at the time. You are almost always right. You have put your interests ahead of ours for the last 18 years, and now it's your turn. Go back to school if you want. Go skydiving. Do something crazy. Let loose a little. I know we will. Let's just hope none of it ends up on Facebook. I hope not too many of us cause too many nervous breakdowns by changing our major to art history or peace studies at least once within the next 4 years. I hope one day we are all able to raise kids or nieces and nephews as well as you did. But if we fail, we know that we have outstanding grandparents to fall back on.
I would like to give a personal thanks to my parents, Gordon and Helen Monroe. Without you, I would not be where I am today, especially not on this stage. Thank you for putting up with me and my 3 too many Snapchat accounts. We would also like to give a special helping out and been so involved from the very beginning in things such as the Grade 8 Quebec trip, and for staying on top of Aiden until he finally got a girlfriend. To Lynn Lalonde for being the #1 sportsman, cheering on Jennifer and all her teammates at every single sport. To Jill Herbert for keeping our stomachs full of the most delicious cookies ever. And to Leslie for giving birth to Kelsey's artsy feet.
We would also like to say how happy we are with the theme like Diamond Jubilee. Did you notice they hired a CIA bodyguard to man security? Oh wait, that's just Andy in. Looking at the grad class tonight, I would say that you, the parents, have done one hell of a job. You've raised the next scientists, entrepreneurs, astronauts, performance, and artists of our generation. You've helped to grow some of the most caring, intelligent, bright, and positive individuals I've ever met. Although it sometimes slips our mind to say thank you for everything you have done, just know that we could not be more grateful.
And with that, on behalf of the graduating class of 2019, we would like to say a huge thank you and I love you.
Thank you, Aurora and Meta, for that wonderful tribute. And I definitely agree with parents. You've done an amazing job raising these graduates today. And just to further hit this home, grads, if you haven't thanked your parents and told them you love them, please do so. Providing the reply from the parents tonight will be Brian's mom. Please help me welcome Hovak Johnson to the stage.
I need a stool, I think. Hello, Sophie, Kamanwafi. Ilihai Lu, Inuit Lu. Kona Karafi, Obana Humak, Omikmakto Lutayana. To the grads, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be chosen to give the parents' reply. I would like to start by saying, on behalf of all the parents, we are very proud of you for reaching this milestone. To the students who had your parents or someone in your life that pushed you for the last 12 or more years, who would wake you up in the mornings, drive you to practices, watch your games and your plays. We also yelled at you to get to school and made you to do your homework. You're welcome. It wasn't easy for us either, but we did it so you could be here tonight. This does not mean you get to play Fortnite whenever you want, no matter how much money the people make on YouTube. And you don't necessarily need to go off to university or college next year, but you need to do something. We love you, but you are too young to retire and sit back and relax. But before you do anything, you need to do one thing. I want you to thank those people who helped you to get this far. I guarantee you that not all your classmates sitting beside you had someone who pushed them to complete school. I bet most of you know someone you started with in kindergarten all those years ago who dropped out of school or who are a year or two behind you because they were not as fortunate as you to have the support in their lives. Now to the ones sitting here who didn't have that person to get you out of bed in the mornings or drive you to practices or attend your games. To the ones who never played on teams because they needed to work after school or look after their brothers and sisters. To the ones here who had to do it on their own because no one made them go to school. Words cannot express how proud I am of you. I grew up in residential school, and like some of the grads spoke about today, they were the first ones to graduate on their family side, and I was the first one on my mom's side and the second one on my dad's side. So I know how you feel, and you should be very proud. So going to residential school, my parents did not see a single game that I played. They never once told me to do my homework or go to bed. I was one of those kids in school that were considered troubled. So finishing school was hard, and it was really hard when you feel there is no one there to push you, but like you, I did it. I was in my late 20s before someone told me that they were proud of me. I don't want anyone here tonight to wait that long. So I want to say it again, I am proud of you. As a parent, I also want to send a shout out to those teachers and staff that go an extra mile, that give up their own time to spend with our kids, whether it's sports trips, extra help after school, giving up their preps and lunch times to help, or even taking 30 seconds in the hall to check up on that one kid who is having a bad day. Thank you. So I want to finish off here with a few words of advice for everyone. Don't give up on people that haven't found themselves yet. The ones that are struggling, be patient. We live in a time where people think if they are not the best, they are nothing. You don't need to have the best vehicle, the best toys, the best shoes, the nicest clothes. You don't need to be the best, just do your best, whatever that is. Focus on your own power and your own gifts. I encourage you to have a balanced life, live in moderation. Go out and make time to connect with Mother Earth. Look after the water, the land, and the air. I encourage you to spend less time on technology and practice your language and culture. And don't be afraid to try new things, be open-minded. Find your people. Surround yourself with those who accept you for who you are. Be good to yourself and don't look down on others. Offer a hand to the ones that need it. And I assure you that you'll still go through some obstacles, but always remember you have a voice. Make smart choices, follow your heart, and the future is yours. And I just want to say how proud I am for those people that are wearing their traditional clothing, and don't keep it in your closet after this. Embrace it, wear it, show it off. Show off your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, or your loved one's work, and be proud of it, show it off. Once again, Kwana Puhi, we are all very proud of you. Be safe, and I just want to do one more thing, because I don't do this very often. I'm going to take a selfie.
Thank you, Global. That was the perfect combination of love, encouragement, advice, and humor. Our next order of business is the toast to the teachers. I'd like to call upon Diana Rockwell to come and make the toast to the teachers.
That's better. Good evening, everyone. When I was writing this speech, I had a hard time starting. I am a very emotional person who cries at the drop of a hat because there are just so many feelings to feel. Whenever I try to thank someone, whether it be in person or in writing, I always find my throat starting to clog up and tears starting to pool in my eyes. In all honesty, I would consider this speech a complete success if my cheeks are dry by the end of it. What I'm trying to say is that thank yous are hard for me, especially when they come after a long journey, as there is so much to be thankful for, and especially because in cases like these, saying thank you also means saying goodbye. In all my 18 years, the path to graduation has been the longest journey of all. And even though I know there are greater and longer adventures ahead of me, turning around and looking back at the people who helped me to be here and thanking all of them is such a difficult task. Among the people who helped me to be here today, and those that I need to thank the most, are my many teachers. I know that I speak for every one of my fellow graduates when I say that our teachers are the ones who had a significant role in our lives. They have helped to shape us, encourage and inspire us, and most importantly, helped us become the people we are today. We owe everything to our teachers in elementary school, who saw something in us and nurtured it, providing opportunities to follow our passions, whether that be in drama, arts, sports, writing, or science. We owe everything to our middle school teachers, who put up with all of our tween drama and all of those hormones, and who taught us about ancient Greece and ancient Rome, about the basis of the essay, the rules of Shakespearean poetry, the order of the planets, and how to find the volume of cube. It's length times width times height, by the way, and don't forget the centimeters cubed you have to put at the end. As all of this helped to prepare us for the beginning of the last phase of our educational journey, high school. Finally, we owe everything to our high school teachers. They were the ones who dealt with our busy lives, our lates, and our missed classes, who gave up their lunches and their preps to re-explain a concept that we missed or didn't quite get the first time, or to hold council meetings, or miss tests, or emergency cram sessions for a midterm and third period. They gave up their time, both after school and even on the weekends, to provide us with activities that fed our passions and will help to define us for the rest of our lives, such as band, choir, drama, combined arms, media studies, student council, grad council, basketball, volleyball, soccer, track, need I say more? The time that they gave provided us with the opportunity to grow as people and help to put each and every one of us on our road to both self-discovery and self-confidence. The memories of school that we have are, more often than not, shaped by the teachers we have. Each year, from kindergarten to grade 12, there are about 20 other students in a class with you, and before long, their names will have faded away into distant memory. However, it is often your teachers that make the biggest impression. 30 years from now, you may not remember the 100 plus people in your graduating class, but we will remember the teachers who helped us get here. We will think back to the time when Mr. Peters taught us off-stage etiquette by making us carry furniture to the shed at -30. Senior drama, you know what I'm talking about. Or when Mr. Curran started diploma prep on the very first day of class. Or the dance party with Mr. Mansfield on the last day of class. Or the beat test with Mr. Wicks. Or the annual camp de neige with Madame Jacqueline. Or the musicals with Mr. Daly. Or the endless science and historic affair projects. I know we will forever be grateful for the support and encouragement of all the teachers who helped us on this journey. The belief they had in us fueled the belief we had in ourselves. Without their investment in our future, I would not be here. We would not be here today. Not all of us grew up in Yellowknife. So to all of our teachers from across the territory, the country, and the world who helped shape us into the passionate, driven, confident, and successful individuals we are today, this is a toast to you. On behalf of Sir John Franklin's graduating class of 2019, I thank you.
Thank you, Diana. That was beautiful and touching. But actually, it might have been too good. I'm not sure how to compete with that, so we're just going to move right along. To provide this year's reply from the teachers, I'd like to invite a teacher who has taught at Sir John for 27 years and has been a true inspiration for students and staff alike. She's also someone I am proud to call my friend. Please help me welcome to the stage Miss Maureen Tong.
Thank you, Mr. Kowalczyk, and thank you to Diana for speaking on behalf of the grads. I too am a very emotional person, so don't be surprised if by the end of this my cheeks are also wet. So good evening to the grad class of 2019, and thank you for welcoming me to the stage to share with you a bit of my journey and perhaps some takeaways that you may or may not choose to personalize and integrate into your own journey. It is truly a privilege to stand before you tonight, and I do not take it lightly, though I will be making reference to light in my speech. As you know by now, I am on a significant healing journey of my own, and am blessed to have access to many paths that I've opened myself to pursuing. Bottom line, I would like to emphasize to you the following. You are in charge of the direction of your life. You are steering the boat, car, low plane, or bike. You see, we are all on a journey. You may feel like you're all about the destination, how to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. You can't wait to blow this popsicle stand known as Yellowknife to the bigger, brighter lights of a larger center. Perhaps your journey is taking you to begin an apprenticeship, to college or career college, university, or right into the world of work. Before and if you leave, however, I invite you to consider that the destination is not of what is of supreme value. It's the moments and the steps, even the detours of the journey that make life that much more interesting. It's the work you put into the goals that you've set for yourself to attain. The journey truly is the reward. If you've known me for only the past 3 or 4 years, you may likely be under the impression that I'm the luckiest teacher at Sir John, given my teaching schedule. Art and yoga, with a career and life management course tossed in for good measure. I'll admit, it's been pretty sweet the past few years, being able to teach what I'm most passionate about, and feeling like I'm actually making a difference in students' lives. But I had to pay my dues. Did you know that back in 1992, when I was first hired, I was given 1 art course, and the rest were all core French. Core French was not one of my certifications, but because I spoke the language to a passable degree, it was put on my schedule. The following 9 years were the toughest of my teaching career, yet oftentimes incredibly rewarding to be sure. But there's something to be said for paying one's dues, for developing coping strategies, and for being given opportunities to dig deep, and also to realize where one's strengths lie. In more recent times, I've become familiar with an expression by James Redfield, and I've adopted it as one of my personal mantras. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where intention flows, where intention goes, energy flows. So ask yourself, where do I place my attention? What do I choose to focus on? Problems, complaints, or rather possibilities and potential. Words have power. The stories we tell ourselves make up our perception of reality. Mindset is absolutely key. Understanding, practicing, and eventually adopting what is known as an abundance mindset. The belief that there is no lack, there is enough for everyone to go round, that the universe will take care to meet our needs. It's certainly been the mindset I've worked hard over the past 5 years to become an extension of who I am. Like many, I'd grown up with the self-inflicted illusion of not being enough. That somehow, when I compared myself with friends or especially family members, I never measured up. There was always something lacking within me. It wasn't true. For example, I had a math teacher in grade 6 tell me I was stupid. So I grew up believing I couldn't work with numbers. That was a lie that I only recently, as in 3 months ago, managed to dispose of. Turns out, I see numbers symbolically, in patterns and colors, which would also explain my artistic fascination with mandalas and numerology. But also, I love making lists. So with this auspicious occasion of Grad, I thought I'd share with you a top 5 list or 2. I chose the number 5 because it represents the teacher and the physical body, according to the style of yoga that I'm most passionate about. Each item mentioned is something I personally have struggled with and factor into why I am now working to heal myself on such a profound level. I haven't mastered any of these, but I am improving. List number 1, things to give up. Number 5, give up the need to be perfect. There is no such thing. There is healthy striving, but seeking perfection comes from a sense of self-lack and will only cause you grief when you fail to attain it again. Number 4, give up the need to be right. There's an expression, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? You don't always have to have the last word. You cannot expect to be right all the time. Number 3, give up jealousy, envy, and holding on to resentments. Jealousy and envy come from a fundamental belief that there is a lack, that somehow another person's success makes it less available to you. That too is false. Here is where the light metaphor comes in, and it's thanks to spiritual teacher Lou Redman that I borrow it. Imagine yourself as a light bulb, shining in the dark. Another person's light will only shed more light on the darkness, not diminish your light. So move more into your own light and enjoy the added illumination. There is only one you, and you have unique gifts to share with this world. If you're going to compare and compete, do it with yourself, not with anyone else. Number 2, give up self-judgment and fear. Our thoughts, words, and intentions have consequences and power. What we tell ourselves, the stories we've woven from childhood onward, are just that, stories. According to author Anais Nin, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. So if we come from a place of fear of failure, of not being enough, etc., we are holding ourselves back from being our brightest, lightest selves. And don't be afraid of failure. It's often the most effective way to learn. Certainly, some of the best minds out there have demonstrated that over time. Number 1, give up trying to be everything to everyone. You don't have to be strong all the time, nor does it serve to be a people pleaser. Accept yourself, warts and all, and honor your journey. Allow yourself to experience all of your emotions with without stuffing them down. Emotions are stored in your body on a cellular level, so if you haven't given yourself a chance to experience what you're hanging on to, some of which you may not even be fully aware of, seek help if you feel that will assist you to heal. This is the one that I've struggled with the most myself. On a lighter note, how many of you have ever seen the Bee Movie? In my comm class, I love that movie, and I've shown it in my comm classes each semester for years. There are some wonderful life lessons in that animated film, so if you haven't yet seen it, you can find it on Netflix. In this next top 5 list, I'm going to share with you a couple of the lessons from the Bee Movie, as well as some reminders about how to live up to your potential. So that's what this list is called, living up to your potential. Number 5, release limiting beliefs and adopt liberating beliefs. Barry B. Benson initially believed the myth, bees can't fly in rain, bees can't fly in rain. In fact, they can. I Googled it. They just don't like to, but they do have the ability. What beliefs have you been assuming to be truth that are in fact limiting your potential in some way? Are there expectations, either placed by the adults in your life or yourself, that cause you to feel limited or pressured? Just like rain can weigh down the bees, your limiting beliefs and expectations weigh you down to prevent you from tapping into your lightest, brightest self. Also in the movie, it was assumed that bees followed in their parents' footsteps. Do bees have feet? I guess they do. To do the exact same job. Barry B. rejected that notion and instead carved his own path by becoming a pollen jock and a lawyer of sorts. One last lesson I'd like to share from the Bee Movie is the importance of thinking bee. Remember that at the end? Thinking bee, thinking bee. No, just me? All right. Coming together as a team to use your strengths to problem solve rather than just trying to go it alone. Find your hive. Folks that will stick by you no matter what, and know that we truly are all connected. I have many of my hive here, thanks to my family that's traveled to be here. Number 4, nourish yourself, also known as self-care. We become our daily habits, so why not make them beneficial? Eat intentionally. What are you putting into your body, and does it allow you to thrive? Breathe with awareness. Move consciously through any physical activity that feeds your soul. Play, whatever that means to you. And ideally not video games, unless it's for, a controlled period of time. Dance with your dog. I love that. Sing at the top of your voice, even if just in the shower. Find time to be still. Relax, read, nap, pray, or meditate. Get outdoors and be active. Connect to this incredible land that we are so fortunate enough to borrow for this lifetime. Find what nourishes you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Number 3, adopt an attitude of gratitude. Start and end your day with gratitude. Whether it's a practice of identifying 1 to 3 things that you're looking forward to before you even rise out of bed, or keeping a joy jar where you record one thing from that day that brought you joy. Or perhaps use the 3 S's, smile, say thanks, set an intention, which is an anchor like, I'm going to be gentle with myself today. This 3 S's is a technique by Christy Lang that actually alters the brain's neurochemistry. It's a great habit to develop, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Even just saying thank you is enough. Be generous with your words of praise. What you put out there will come back to you. Number 2, be kind and love yourself first. We tend to be our harshest critics, but truly, we only have love to give to others when we give it first and foremost to ourselves. Now that may sound a little cheesy to you as teens, but it's a lesson that to be learned now to save you a lot of heartache in the future. Remember that old saying, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all? Think before you speak. If it can be construed as gossip, that is, something you wouldn't say to that person's face, then choose not to say it. That includes self-talk. Show some compassion. And finally, be courageous. Show up to your life. Be fully present and be curious to grow into your best self. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. And this is where I struggled so desperately for so many years, was to be vulnerable. But not anymore. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and take risks. Here are 3 questions I'd like you to contemplate, posed by spiritual teacher John Sadiq in his online course, Self-Acceptance Through Authenticity. If you knew you couldn't fail, you knew you'd succeed at whatever you did, what would you do? If you knew you had $100 million in the bank, what would you do or be? If you knew you only had 6 months left to live, what would you do or be? I would be an artist and still be a teacher. To wrap up, in the words of A.A. Milne, creator of Winnie the Pooh, promise me you will always remember, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Thank you once again for allowing me to speak to you this evening. I wish you adventure, love, and courage as you make your way on your journey. May any challenges you encounter be surmountable, and may you be blessed with good health on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. Merci, Masicho, Kwananini. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dawn. That was incredibly heartfelt and beautiful. Now, I know your message was directed to the grads, but I think we can all learn something about taking control of our own journeys and being kinder to ourselves. Moving forward, we'd now like to give a little bit of insight into the graduating class of 2019. To help us better understand them and where they've come from, please welcome to the stage our class historians, Marcus Clough and Laura Lee.
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Perfect. Wow. What a great group of grads we have with us tonight. I mean, yeah, come on, let's hear it. You deserve to cheer. We have come such a long way. We've worn such gorgeous suits and dresses that we should be proud. I mean, if you were to look at us 12 years ago, you would have thought, huh, that's an interesting bunch.
Yeah, talk about diamonds in the rough. We're thrilled to be this year's historians. We've always wanted the chance to publicly judge and criticize our fellow grads. And what better opportunity to look back on our cringiest moments and funniest stories than a night when we're saying goodbye. Our grad class didn't all start up together, but we honestly couldn't have asked to be sitting next to a better group of people on this last day of high school. Marcus and I started out as citizens where we were constantly surrounded by high achievers who helped the French kids establish a reputation that we're more than happy to piggyback off of. They successfully brainwashed us into becoming imitation francophones through activities like Con and Edge and Carnival d'Hiver. In our last year of citizens, the school hosted a sledding competition where competitors had to make their own sled.
The sled made by Madame Elaine's 5th grade class was a true feat of modern engineering that Kowalski would have been proud of. It managed to hold the entire 20-person class, which gave the sled the momentum of a Boeing 737. It turns out that spending all of your time focusing on speed instead of steering isn't really the best idea. Without any control over this runaway sled, we barreled straight towards Madame Jacqueline's kindergarten class. We're not actually allowed to talk about what happened next, but safe to say this was the first and the last time Sissons had a make-your-own sled competition.
Across town, you could find the NJ kids. The NJ kids were the coolest elementary school students in the world. You know an NJ student when you saw the Lululemon headband and decked out Crocs on your way. They had the iPod touches, the Skidoo jackets, the Beaver posters. Brooke Pelly is still a believer, and she still has her Beaver poster hanging up in her room since 2009.
Chris Green was the definitive Foursquare champion, cementing his legacy and earning well-deserved street cred among 5th graders. We also are so jealous of the NJ School Song, which was a closely guarded secret held by their students. That song was just another reason everyone wished that they went to NJ.
And then we had the Range Lake kids, otherwise known as the Graded Olympians. When we crossed them in the finals, we always knew we'd be taking home the silver. However, we didn't know what things behind the scenes were like. What we didn't get to see was Emily Plessy running so hard into the high jump poster in a track practice that it broke. And while they were earning banners and medals at every sporting event, they were also putting parts of neighboring toasters, which almost led to Mr. Benson's class being burnt down. During their Quebec trip, the search for good poutine often led to students getting hopelessly lost. Knowing that Range Lakers were wandering around Quebec like little lost puppies made me feel a little bit better about losing all those tournaments. The one upside about losing all to Range Lake all those years is that we knew that we'd one day be united at Sir John and be on the same team. Well, they'd be on the A team and everybody else on the B team, but you get the idea.
B team pride for sure. William Mac was the meeting place of NJ kids and Assistance kids, where French kids like us made the huge discovery. French isn't mandatory? Despite this language barrier, at the end of the day, we were all united as William McDonald Wildcats, and we were able to laugh together. Like when Braden Cordero fell off his bike and got bruised so badly he had a third nipple for weeks. We also had the MacBook Air toting PIP kids who stole our Quebec trip, even though some of them would be hard-pressed to even spot that province on a map, but okay, glad you guys had fun.
We're over it. While everyone was getting ready for high school, Aiden Drew and David Knight were busily paddling canoes.
I think tipping canoes and swimming to shore is a lot more accurate. Of course, canoe tipping was pretty common in our grad class, where Ella, Rob, and Reese Pinio were the only ones to tip on the grade 8 inland canoe trip. William McDonald students also got pretty good workout during the morning wake-ups. We would pointlessly walk around in circles and give teachers the chance to drink their 8th cup of coffee. It's probably the only way they could keep up with us, though.
William Mac was also the time we were first exposed to the elusive Elaine St. Cyr students. We only caught glimpses of them as they used our empty classrooms and traveled on the back stairways. It wasn't until they joined us at Sir John that we realized these mysterious shadows were actually just real human beings. They actually ended up teaching us how French is supposed to sound. No matter what background students brought to Sir John, everyone felt the same way on the first day. High school is scary, I want to go home. This fear dissipated quickly and soon we were proud to be Falcons. Emma Willoughby was the only grade 9 on the girls' team for Challenge Cup.
Whenever Emma Willoughby fell into the board, she always made sure to take a St. Pat's player with her. While she was tearing it up on the ice, Jen Joshua was in the box announcing every penalty and goal for the Balsey Cup with unrivaled enthusiasm. This energy has only been seen before by Peter Curran, who steps up on his literal soapbox to give inspiration to his English class. He taught us that if we believe there's enough racetrack left, things will go your way. Once some of us started to drive, we began to act like we owned the school. Every single day, Layla and Oksana would park in a spot that really isn't a spot. Robbie Paddock's blue PT Cruiser was taking up 2 spots every single day with the most god-awful parking job you've ever seen.
Spencer Littlefair, on the other hand, defied the status quo. He was always made sure to have the most perfect parking job, even if it made him late for first period every single day. During our senior prank when we invaded the teacher's parking lot, Spencer still got out his protractor to make sure his angles were a perfect 90 degrees. This work ethic embodies our grad class, where even a prank is meticulously planned to ensure a flawless execution. We graduates sitting here tonight are the hardest working and most dedicated students. They manage to find academic success while balancing jobs, extracurricular activities, and community volunteering. The competitive spirit held by Sir John students has always pushed us to do better, try something new, and participate in everything we can.
Of course, everything that Matthew Lucier tries to do ends up putting him in a crutch, past sling. So please try to be careful when you try new things out. Now, to show the importance of what I'm about to say, I'm going to take a page out of Mr. Curran's book and just get on my soapbox here for a second. He stole it from his classroom. When we were writing this speech, the amazing and inspiring stories brought to us made us realize just how resilient, hilarious, and inspiring our grad class really is. The only thing we can say to sum all of these grads up is, wow, what an interesting bunch.
Thanks to the grad class of 2019 for providing us with so many memories. Not only have these past 4 years at Sir John been filled with laughter and friendship, but the last 12 years as a whole. This could not have been possible without the community as generous and friendly as Yelney. And for that, we want to thank you all, and thank you for being here with us tonight.
I'll take this as my grad gift, Mr. Curran.
Thank you, Marcus and Laura. I'm not sure if I really wanted to know that much about the class of 2019, but honestly, it was better than I expected. And in case you're wondering, I do know the NJ song, and no, I will not sing for you. No. Next up, we're going to take a look into the future. Please welcome class prophets Braden Cordero and Emma Duplessis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emma Duplessis.
And I'm Braden Cordero, and together we represent the prophets for the grad class of 2019.
Much like our entire high school experience, this speech was written very last minute. So feel free to spare as many pity laughs as you can, especially with Braden's jokes. This day has been about reflecting and taking a look at all the things we accomplished
Or avoided.
in our years with Sir John. We know it's been a long day, and it's no doubt that you've heard so many speeches you could probably recite yourself, but I promise you, if you bear with us, we will spend the next few minutes proving to you that this one, well, it's actually no better.
This evening, we have been tasked with giving you a sneak peek into the future of our grads. However, a great deal remains unknown, and we seem to be approaching uncharted territory. Much like how Emma Willoughby has become the first person to canoe across every lake, river, pond, and swamp in Canada. When we tried to track her down for a statement, we were unable to determine which body of water she's attempting to cross next. The last known sighting of Emma was by Layla Noxana, who is now in the wilderness herself, advocating for a new charity, Rocks Have Feelings Too.
Her cause is sponsored by a GoFundMe set up by Tim Hortons, which is now the biggest multi-billion-dollar company in Canada. Their revenue has doubled due to the abnormal spendings of Tamara Jovic, Kayla Sanderson, and Brianna Steele, who have all blown their university savings on feeding their iced coffee addictions. I guess old habits die hard.
Speaking of old habits, Dagan McKnight has not removed his ball cap since finishing high school, despite being asked numerous times. A conspiracy theory has emerged that he can no longer physically remove the cap. It is stuck to his head, and no one has seen his hair since.
You know who else's hair I haven't seen in a while? Steven's.
Stephen Messier?
Yeah. Last thing I heard about him was he became Canada's top medical mystery of 2029. Something about dad's Z's?
don't you mean disease?
That's what I thought too. But nope, dadsies. It's apparently a condition in which a young, healthy individual takes on the appearance of a 75-year-old man.
Oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. Has anyone talked to him?
Yeah, apparently when he was asked about how he looks, Steven said with his eyes, there's no cure.
Man, he should write a book on this. He'd make millions. He could be the next big Canadian icon.
I mean, sorry to burst your bubble, but that position's actually already been filled.
By who?
By Robbie Paddock, duh. You know that saying, make it or break it? Well, Robbie did both. In 10 years, Robbie's been pulled over 346 times. There's even a Wikipedia page detailing every single time he got caught. He was voted Canada's worst driver. Didn't you hear about this? It's all over the news. He beat the Canadian record.
Well, Brian Liang made a Canadian record. He graduated from U of T and used all 36 of his musical degrees to create a new classic. The instruments he used include, but are not limited to, the rainstick, xylophone, trumpet, didgeridoo, harmonica, kazoo, piano, accordion, guitar, harp, and every version of the saxophone ever made. The only thing he left out was the triangle. He failed to learn the art of the daunting three-sided metal shape.
Man, that really sucks. I mean, if only he had a tutor like Vin Lee. Vin helps students struggling in math and science, all while maintaining a 90% academic average during a 4-course semester, and he helps his family out at home. I mean, come on, what a guy.
Wait, Emma, that's not in the future. That already happened.
Right. Well, shout out to Vin for helping me pass Chem 30.
I wouldn't say 49.5 is a pass, Emma.
You know what, Brayden? They round up nowadays. And you don't have to tell everybody that.
Emma, it's okay. There's no judgment here. I mean, we were all a struggling student at one point or another. Just look at Marcus Clough. 10 years from now, he wakes up every day in a cold sweat, thinking he is late for his morning classes. Once he looks in the mirror, he realizes he is 29 and no longer attend class, so he goes back to bed. Or a solid 5 minutes before the panic sets in again as he remembers he's the teacher. There is no end to this cycle.
If you really want to talk about a never-ending cycle, let's talk about Aiden Drew. That boy is notorious for sleeping through literally everything. After graduation, Aiden decided to catch up on all of the sleep he felt he missed during his time in high school. 2 years later, he's awake, only he slept through Chris Green's viral video entitled High School, Just Wing It. Brian Johnston and Michael Elm's crown achievement of becoming the world's top water pong duo, and Zach Smith's first smile. Discouraged from all that he missed and claiming he was tired from oversleeping, Aiden goes back to bed for 6 more months. It repeats 5 more times before he's broke and decides he needs to get a job. Thinking quickly on his feet, Aiden begins to dip his toes into the waters of the modeling world, appearing on billboards for companies all around the world. As Grad Council would know, he's got experience.
I don't know if you've heard, but Allie Hillier is also on the billboard or two. She's set to start a Broadway adaptation of the Disney classic, Good Luck, Charlie. If you find yourself in New York in November of 2029, be sure to catch the first show. It's an event you won't want to miss.
Brayden, I'm all for Good Luck, Charlie. I mean, I love Disney as much as the next person, maybe even more. But I think you're forgetting another big event that took place a few years ago.
Another big event in the past 2 years. Oh, that's right, how can I forget? Diana Rockwell. Man, what a woman. I mean, can you believe that the first female prime minister in 35 years shocked her country even more by turning her inaugural ceremony into a musical? That's one for the history books.
You're telling me. And don't worry, if you missed it, you can check out behind-the-scenes extras as well as a live stream video of the whole event on Ruby's vlog channel. 10 years later, she's finally reached her goal of 12 subscribers. Atta you, Ruby, we're so proud of you.
In all seriousness though, we're proud of every accomplishment of the grad class of 2019. High school is not an easy experience, but we all made it through.
It was full of blood, sweat, tears, smiles, and laughter, and it taught us all knowledge that we will never forget. As we stand here before you, each and every one of us ready for what the future holds, we are confident that all of you will do great things in life.
And while all that we have said today are merely predictions and speculations, we're anticipating a 10-year reunion because we have bets going on about how many of these will come true. If you want to enter money into the prize pool, you can see Yellowknife's top PTA mom, Laura Ing, who single-handedly organized every school event, even for children who aren't her own.
Very true. I mean, I myself have got $50 riding on Layla kickstarting her environmental foundation. So please, everyone try to remind her and remember yourselves, rocks have feelings too. Thank you guys so much for your patience tonight. We hope you have a wonderful evening, and cheers to the grads of 2019.
Thank you, Brayden and Emma. That was both inspiring and perhaps a little bit concerning. With that, we have heard about both the past and the future of the class of 2019. What about the present? The present. To discuss the present, I'd like to call back to the stage Marcus Clough and Laura Ing.
This one is much shorter, don't worry.
We promise. Alright, this year's theme of our grad is extra special. Created and voted on by grads themselves, the Diamond Jubilee theme is as unique and special as our grad class itself. 60th anniversaries are represented by a diamond, and seeing as Yellowknife is a diamond capital of the North, it seems like the perfect opportunity to celebrate the 60th graduating class of Sir John.
Laura and I wanted to do something wonderful for this occasion, and as such, we have a special surprise for the good-looking graduates here tonight. Thanks to a gracious donation from the NWT Diamond Center and the generosity of two anonymous Divic employees, we are proud to announce that one lucky graduate will be receiving a diamond pendant, and two others will be taking home small cut and polished diamonds. Yeah!
Graduating class of 2019, we'd like to formally give thanks for the generous donations that have made this show possible. To the NWT Diamond Center, Dominion and De Beers Groups, Scotch Play Mine, and Diamond Mine, we would like to extend thank you for your exceptional support and kindness to Sir John's graduating class.
We would now like to invite a representative of the Diamond Center to speak about the significance of their donation, and to be followed by Mr. McGinnis, who will come on stage and draw the names of our three winners. You guys can come on stage now.
Good evening, everyone. So a big round of applause for our support and our community for these special gifts. Okay, people. You ready? Every graduate of Sir John's class of 2019, their name is in this bag. If you were lucky enough to win diamonds tonight, come to the stage, we'll present our gift, and then please hang on to them, and then maybe when we get to the dance part, you get moms and dads to hold on to them for you. We're going to have Mr. Kowalczyk draw the first name. Mr. Vin Lee. I think Vin just realized how big they were. Congratulations, Vin. Diamond set number 2. Mr. Robert Paddock. It's Mr. McGinnis. Oh, no, sorry. Matthew Lucier. You guys realize 3 guys won diamonds tonight? How sweet is that? The moms in the house are excited. Matthew, come and get your diamonds. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Lauren.
I have to say, those are some pretty great speeches, filled with some amazing stories, and I don't just mean mine. Now, I know it's not a competition, but it's pretty tough to compete with Marcus and Laura. They literally gave away 3 diamonds. Well done.